Trillion market cap club has a new member from the banking sector. At the close of trading on January the 8th, the share price of United Bank for Africa crossed 29 naira Nigeria, overtaking the bank's market value to 1.02 trillion naira, making the bank the latest member of the SWOOT category. Well, UBA joins a slightly rejigged list as at January the 8th at the close of trading. FBN Holdings joined that club in late last year, but has dropped out. Boa Cement has seen its market cap rise from 3.3 trillion to 3.5 trillion naira as it remains in the fifth place. And you can just see the rest there. You can see what they call the Trillionaire Boys Club market cap on the exchange, just big 7 on the Nigerian exchange. As at yesterday, the first trading day of the current week, Airtel Africa leads that with 6.6 trillion naira, and UBA just come up there. And you can see the banking sector taking a bit of that, but it's a bit mixed with industrial, telecommunications, energy, as well as those in the consumer goods space. Boa Foods is there as well. So let's discuss this further. The wider economy and what's the implication. Paul Lawal, an FCA and a former managing director and CEO of NIPS, that's Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, that critical powerhouse for Nigeria's interbank system. Good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
Thank you so much, and good to see you in the new year. Now, UBA joined this 1 trillion market cap club value. I'm sure anywhere in the world when listed companies move up to about 1 trillion, it tends to get everybody's attention. You've got Zenith Bank, you've got FBN Holdings, touch that club. Well, what does that say about the banking sector where you spend most of your working life?
Yeah, it seems that it presents a scenario that the banks are increasing their capital base, and increase your capital in terms of market capitalization maybe because your profitability has increased. And so and then the customer's perspective, the public perspective of the value of your shares are gone up, and so the price goes up. And then when you have number of shares, the capitalization is the number of shares in the market multiplied by the price per unit of share. That is capitalization. So you can have capitalization, a larger capitalized position because of two main reasons. Maybe the share price has appreciated because of performance, and so you have what we call retained profits. More profit is retained, and then you have that one, and then some of the profit can be converted to shares in terms of bonus issues, in terms of value. And also it could come up because the company has issued new shares. When you issue new shares, then you have more units of shares. You know, capitalization is the number of units of shares plus times the price per unit of those shares. So what's happening now is like saying the business level is growing, okay? So there's more profit, more of the profit is being capitalized in terms of issuing bonus shares, or the banks are issuing more shares, bringing in more fresh capital because of what their plans are in the future. So it's here and there. So anyway, one thing that is certain is that the capital base is deeper, and the bank also can do more business because we have what to capital asset ratio, we have gearing ratio in terms of how much loan can you give based on your capital. So when the bank has more capital, then it has more capacity to give more loans.
I'm sure when you sit at NIPS, you see the entire banking sector in Nigeria, in the manner of speaking. In fact, you see all of us who do banking transactions. That's what NIPS is all about. And you spend times there as a managing director and CEO during a very critical time in Nigeria's banking history. So we really appreciate that. And when you look at the stock market, I'm sure you're not just watching the bank, but you're also watching the market. We just crossed 80,000 yesterday, which is a new high for the Nigerian exchange in 62 years of its existence. The market is making trillions of naira last year. But some folks still believe that the market is still disconnected from the broader economy. Do you really think so?
Yeah, I believe generally the Nigerian economy is disconnected from the standard of living. Okay? It's connected from the state of the economy of the average Nigerian.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you have capital growing and you have the NGS rates rising, these are ratios, these are things that depict increase in business activity. But then you can have volumes like that because the unit price has risen. Okay? Take, for example, somebody who sells loaves of bread. Sells 500 loaves of bread at the rate of maybe 100 naira. Is going to sell 50,000.
Yes.
But if 100 naira is now 1,000, 500 loaves of bread become 500,000.
So the turnover hasn't really...
Yeah. So sometimes you have high volumes, not because productivity has increased, but because the price has increased, has moved up. And there's a bit of disconnect in Nigeria because the rate at which prices are rising, exchange rates, the value of the currency is dropping, and it does not match the rate at which income are increasing for the individual or the average person.
You would suggest, sir, that we should make more bread?
I would suggest we make more bread.
500 pieces of bread,
yes, please,
to maybe 5,000.
Exactly. So when you have real growth in economy, it is when you increase the number of units of production. The gross national product of the country is one of major indices of the health of that country in terms of the economic health. Okay, what gross national product has to do with the total performance, output and services of the people in the country. All right. Now, if you multiply the number of people and the unit of what they are doing, the price of what they're doing, and the pricing of their services and goods by the number of people that are providing, you get gross national product. But in a situation where the pricing goes up and the number of goods have not increased, then you're having a disconnect. I think there's a major disconnect in Nigeria.
So here we are with the current administration setting itself up for a target of $1 trillion GDP by the year 2030. So what's your take on that? Do you think is that ambitious? Is it realizable? When we're doing around $500 billion, somewhat, if you want to put it that way. I'm sure we're a few notches below 500 if you use the current exchange rate and what have you.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's very good. The president has set such a limit, such a high level of reference. Yeah. Now, when you set such, it's fine. $1 trillion for the population of Nigeria, 200 million people. It is achievable, not within. No economy is a silo. To the extent to which we can attract foreign capital into the country, that makes it realizable and that makes it more meaningful. Okay? An economy becomes strong when more people desire to invest in your country. In Nigeria, for example, how much foreign capital are we inviting? So the $1 trillion naira capital, $1 trillion
GDP,
the $1 trillion that the president
talked about.
Yeah. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president is set to be achieved in year 2030, I suppose.
Correct.
It's wonderful. It's good. It shows that Nigeria has space for more investment. But, in my opinion, there should be a strong effort to attract foreign capital in. When we attract foreign capital, it then means our economy is desired. We are bringing in more opportunities.
Do you think it's that capital that would drive us towards that $1 trillion?
Because the $1 trillion is there, there must be other work to be done that will set the parameter for other parts of the industry. For example, I've heard that there may be a fresh capitalization for banks.
Yes.
The banks are going to increase their capital base. Okay, if that capital base is increased, then we should encourage that much of the funds should come from outside, and that could be also to attract Nigerian capital.
Do you think the banks can support $1 trillion economy? They grow their capital. Do you think they will be able to support that? Do you think the banks will be a critical factor to get to that $1 trillion?
Thank you. As of today, we are celebrating Zenith just made $1 trillion naira.
Yes.
Okay, in terms of total capital base.
Yes.
If we are going to $1 trillion, okay, it then means that target can only be achieved if we either find new resources in Nigeria or we bring funds in from abroad. So when you empower the banks, when you increase the capital base of the banks, the economy as it is cannot support $1 trillion. And that's why as it is today. That's what I'm saying. How do you grow to that $1 trillion? It may be necessary for us to make the environment supportive or bring in fresh capital. And that also takes me to something about Nigeria. A lot of Nigerian youth have left the country in this JAPA scenario, okay, earning income abroad. About 2 years ago, the total income earned by Nigerians abroad, even that came into the country, was higher than the income earned nationally.
To the FDI?
Yes, throughout the year. So what are we saying? How do we attract funds of Nigerians abroad? Not just the young people, elderly people. People have stashed away funds. This may be a time to encourage inflow of capital into Nigeria and make people bring such capital to understand that there will be no prosecution. Peradventure, they are linked to whatsoever. This is as an opportunity. When capital comes, it will not just come and sit in a bank. It will come and invest in new
avenues.
In
various economies.
Yeah,
so we need this capital,
yes.
both domestic and foreign. One key issue that's been discussed over time was the fuel subsidies. Now we've thrown it out of the window. And now, in terms of the price of fuel in Nigeria, I'm sure you're enthused by the Dangote refinery coming on stream.
Yes, wonderful.
And the efforts being made by the NNPC to get the Port Harcourt refinery at least back on stream. So it looks like all hands on deck in that area. But again, when you look at the fuel price subsidies and all that, Nigeria still ranked 22nd in terms of where you have the cheapest fuel in the world. So do you think fuel is the cheapest in Nigeria, anywhere in the world?
What you said, we cannot compare in absolute terms.
In absolute figures.
Yeah, in absolute figures.
So some folks say, well, around the globe, around the world, it's $1.29.
Okay, if a guy says it's $1, I'll tell you that the minimum wage in America is $7.25. $7.25 per hour. So that means somebody works in America, minimum a laborer, earns $58 in a day. Okay, so if that guy should multiply it in a year, he earns like 1.45 million naira. The minimum wage in Nigeria is 35,000 naira. How do you now compare the capacity to purchase of an American laborer to consume? The capacity to consume of an American laborer to a Nigerian worker? How many people earn 1.45 million naira in Nigeria? That's the least you can earn in America. Per month.
Yes,
per month.
Naira,
1.45 million per month. How many people earn that in Nigeria? Medical doctors don't even earn 300,000 naira per month in Nigeria. And that's what a laborer earns in America. So what I'm saying is this: when we start comparing the price of the petrol, fuel all over the world with what we consume in Nigeria, what do we earn in Nigeria?
So you need to consider a whole lot of things. What we earn, interest rate, inflation, exchange rate, all of that.
All of those.
Okay, great. I see. So a price of petrol at 1,200 naira, you think that's tough on Nigeria's neck?
I think the problem is that we have not managed our resources very well. Nigeria last year was borrowing more money than she was earning. The interest servicing our loan, interest on loan, was more than the national income. More than the national revenue. That shows there's a disconnect again. Much of the problem we are having, what I see that has to be redressed in Nigeria is that the public, the disparity between the rich and the poor is too wide. It's too wide. So as for the price of the petrol, this is because the refineries were not managed well. So we're spending a lot of money importing and subsidizing fuel.
When you sit down, sir, these days, and you look at exchange rates, some of the forecasting 1,500, as it were. Others says it could stabilize, whatever. What's your playbook for FX in Nigeria, for instance? Tell me.
Okay. I believe that the FX rate, as it is now, was forced up because of so many factors. So much money was moving around without goods supporting it.
In Naira terms. So much Naira in circulation.
Number two, the consumption style of Nigerians. We are too import dependent. The average Nigerian likes things imported, okay? And much education, most children, you send children abroad, holidays abroad, health abroad. Some people, if they have a headache, they are going to fly.
Tourism.
Yeah, we don't have a national airline. And so most of the things that we consume are imported.
We're bleeding FX, all of them.
We are bleeding FX, all of them. Plus the fact that even when people have undue access to national funds, we are hearing people stacking away billions of naira. The other day I read in the paper that a 6-year-old account was holding over 500 million naira. Such money, the 6-year-old doesn't know about it. They take this money, they take from the national coffers, go and put pressure on the FX. Not because they want to buy raw materials for production. These are the issues, disconnect in Nigeria. So what am I saying? My opinion is that the way we are moving forward, if the federal government, focus well on corruption, and I'm seeing some good things happening. People are being suspended, people are being removed. Lately, it doesn't happen like that in Nigeria frequently. It's happening like, what did they say? Is it true? So, and then you are off. So when you know that with corruption, you may not retain your job, then people will become more serious.
Is that your outlook? What do you think should be the priority for the new year?
The priority for
2024, yes, on the economic front.
On the economic front, the priority should be try and maintain a stable exchange rate, try and maintain a stable monetary policy in terms of the interest on loan, interest on deposits. Try and create a broader space for people not included in the economy to come in. What do I mean? So many things we have that are idle, having properties that you don't use. REITs can come on, whereby we become real estate, investment trust. You bring them in, and those people have capital without putting cash, and all of this now be there. They try and create more avenue to increase employment opportunities, not just creating a body whereby they will just see distributing money. That's not it. There is a need for us to create more jobs. There is a need for us to have people who have feasibilities that are good, have better access to capital. I believe that if production increased in Nigeria, and also we need to control our importation. We should leave this thing as they don't control importation. Nobody does. Monetary and fiscal policies must address the need of the country. We have to ban some importation. You go to a party, people give gifts that you don't need. Combs and umbrellas and plastics
all made somewhere in Asia.
Also made in China and other places.
Yes. Yeah. But we want to be part of the global industrial manufacturing base, so we've got to push something here, push the needle. But it's nice seeing you here, sir.
Thank you.
In the new year. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's good to be with you.
Banker, former managing director and CEO of NIBS, Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, NIBS.